Dahir Curry takamar mu ita ce inganci abun girki kowane iri ne. Dahir Curry farin cikin masu gida.
Ina ga ai kamar kowa ya zo za mu iya farawa ko?
A'a, kowa bai zo ba.
Ai kamar kowa ya hallara ko?
A'a, kowa bai hallara ba.
To sa'in kuwa haka ne, wa muke jira?
Ai kuwa, yawwa ga wanda muke jira nan ya zo.
The movie opens in Bangkok, where crime boss Rogan rules the underworld, running illegal fight clubs and a vast drug empire. One night, Rogan's right-hand man Jimmy informs him that Sia has finally been found. The scene then shifts to Sia, locked in a fierce fight against a group of thugs and trying to escape them until the director yells, "Cut." It turns out to be a movie shoot, and her greedy father Karana immediately demands compensation for her injury. Meanwhile, Rogan arrives at the set and his henchmen quickly corner Sia's father, but he is casually joking around with their guns until Rogan shows up and slaps him hard. Startled to see him, Karana quickly promises to return his money soon and requests to leave his daughter. As Sia exits the van, fear washes over her the moment she sees Rogan. Afterward, Rogan abducted Sia and took her to Bangkok. The movie's producer and Karana then approach the police and several high-ranking politicians for help, but no one dares to go against Rogan out of fear. The producer begins to lose hope until Karana recalls Ronnie, the only one who can save Sia now. Soon after, Ronnie visits the hospital, where the doctor informs him that a large deposit is needed to begin treatment for his friend Subu's muteness. That evening, Ronnie is desperate to arrange money when the producer approaches him, offering a hefty sum to rescue Sia. But still consumed by his grudge against her, Ronnie bluntly refuses and walks away. However, Karana believes that Ronnie still loves her and he'll come through. While leaving, Ronnie is hit by some past memories of Sia and he agrees to take on the mission, but only for the money, not for Sia. The next night, he sets off for Bangkok. Lost in thought, he's drawn back into memories as the scene shifts to where it all began when Ronnie first met Sia on a train. She is fond of rain and playfully urges the clouds to pour even more. Ronnie found himself unexpectedly attracted to her childlike charm. He tried to impress her with playful flirting, and they soon slipped into a lighthearted exchange until Sia walks away without giving much attention. Here, Karana clumsily spills tea on his clothes but cleverly swaps it with another passenger's, who only realizes it much later. Meanwhile, Rogan is also at the station and happens to pass by Sia. Outside the train, Ronnie blows Sia a bold, flying kiss that leaves her visibly teased. She immediately confronts him, coolly saying that his tricks don't work on her, but Ronnie keeps up his flirty banter with more confident humor, and this time Sia genuinely seems a little impressed. Just as she turns toward the train, heavy rain begins to fall. Unable to contain her excitement, Sia starts dancing joyfully in the downpour. Her energy is so infectious that Ronnie and others around her join in too, and in that heartfelt moment, they both grow unexpectedly close. Watching from the window, Rogan sees Sia for the first time and is instantly captivated by her beauty and charm. He steps forward to approach her, but his assistant interrupts with urgent news. Before leaving, Rogan instructs Jimmy to find out everything about her. After the rain, the train is ready to depart, but Sia's father is nowhere to be seen. Ronnie sets off to look for him, unaware that Karana has already boarded. By the time Sia alerts him, the train has already started moving. He runs after it, trying desperately to catch up, but he's left behind and they both are emotionally torn apart. That night, Rogan arrives at the academy and meets his father Swami, a revered martial arts legend who teaches the art freely at his renowned academy. Rogan is recognized as the most dangerous and undefeated fighter there and once again chosen to lead as the upcoming boat race captain. The next morning, Ronnie visits the academy and is instantly drawn to its vibrant and disciplined atmosphere. However, he barges into Swami's meditation session, disturbing both him and the students. He then hands Swami a letter from his late father, who requested his military friend Swami to take Ronnie into his academy, train him, and reform his spoiled son after his passing. Swami questions Ronnie about his old martial arts training and tells him about the academy's strict rules. When Ronnie takes it lightly, Swami humbles him with a swift, slamming blow. When still not enough, he hits him again with another painful strike that completely breaks his ego. Before walking away, Swami only gives him one warning to never break the rules of the academy. Later, he's shown to his room where he meets Subu and Hari. Unlike the comforts he's used to, the room offers none of the usual facilities. The next day, the boat race kicks off alongside a festival. As always, Rogan's team takes an early lead, but midway through, he gets distracted when he spots Sia. His focus snaps back as she enthusiastically cheers for him. With renewed energy, he powers through to win the race by a massive margin. After the race, Rogan frantically rushes into the audience to find her, but she's already gone. By coincidence, Shia and Ronnie pass close to each other on their way, but neither notices the other. Fortunately, the rain begins to pour, and Shia can't stop to enjoy the moment. Just then, Ronnie spots her and quickly rushes towards her. They're both overjoyed to meet each other again, admitting how much they've missed one another. Shia feels guilty that Ronnie missed his train because of her, but he brushes it off and once again tries to win her over with his playful flirting, and Shia also finds herself falling for him slowly. Ronnie suggests they should enjoy the rain from the lighthouse, but the downpour suddenly stops. They then promise each other to meet at the lighthouse during the next rainfall. During training with advanced students late at night, Rogan gets lost in thoughts of Sia, and one fighter lands a hit. It wounds his ego. He then outbursts on the opponent mercilessly until Swami steps in and strikes him with his signature move. He warns Rogan never to misuse his power again before leaving. At a restaurant, Ronnie discusses how he impressed Sia even more. Sitting nearby, Kirana quickly joins them, and under the pretense of giving ridiculous advice, he ends up drinking their beer and eating their food before hilariously walking off. The next morning, Ronnie's grueling training begins without a shred of mercy. He's assigned full responsibility for the academy's daily chores. Over the next week, he's given a series of back-breaking tasks, ringing the temple bell for hours without pause, scrubbing the academy multiple times a day with hurdles and cooking meals for everyone. He isn't allowed a moment of rest between these tasks. Days pass like this, and he receives no martial arts training yet. After a week, he gets exhausted with this torture. But just then, as the rain begins to fall, the thought of meeting Sia fills Ronnie with excitement. Here, Sia also hurries out in the hope of meeting Ronnie, but she runs into Rogan at the gate. As Rogan begins to introduce himself, Sia interrupts with a casual compliment on his boat race victory. Afterward, Rogan meets Kirana and bluntly proposes marriage to Sia. Though initially hesitant, greedy Kirana quickly changes his mind when he learns about Rogan's billion empire and sweetens the deal with a hefty cash offer. Before leaving, Kirana gives his word and promises Sia's to Rogan. Soon after, Sia reaches the lighthouse, and as promised, Ronnie also arrives after some time. After a tender conversation, the two spend the entire day together and share countless joyful and loving moments. After spending a beautiful day, Sia gently gives Ronnie her ring as a token of affection. Before leaving, she leans in and gives him a sweet kiss. Late at night, Ronnie returns to the academy completely intoxicated, only to find Swami waiting at the entrance to confront him for breaking the rules. Swami tactfully sobers him up by making him vomit all the alcohol and then politely explains the value of discipline in the
lallai tabbas in dai kuna son more daɗi har ninki uku kuma a jaka guda, to ku yi hanzarin nemo Unity 3-in-1 Mix Coffee. Yana nan a ƙananan shaguna, store da kuma kasuwanni.
Yanzu kun tabbatar da wanda muke jira ya zo? Babu shakka, in dai al'amari ne na kwakwalwa, lissafi ya nemi ya kunce maka. Maza nemi Unity 3-in-1 Mix Coffee. Yanzu nan zai warware maka matsalar. Ka samu kanka cikin nishaɗi da watsakarwa.
Tun ba ma ƙamshin ba, shi ne sirrin.
Ma'u! Kai, don Allah ki fito, dinan nan fa an riga an fara. Ko ke... dakata. Baki isa ba. In sa tsohon gwal, ki ɗauko sabon gwal ki sa zamu cikin mutane?
Kin ga ki kwantar da hankalinki, Sara ne.
Ina ne kuma Sara?
Sara Jawari.
Kin san fa ba na son shiga kasuwa saboda cunkoso.
Su fa sun bude sabon shago a nan opposite Ni'ima, dan haka suna cin kasuwar dare, ki tashi mu biya yanzu.
Wow! Sara Jawari, wow! Wai dama Sada din nan kike zuwa kike siyan tsomon gwal din nan sai ki zo mi kike ta baza capacity?
Journey of life. But Ronnie is frustrated that instead of getting martial arts training, he's being treated like a servant all along. In response, Swami launches a series of attacks, but Ronnie skillfully counters every move using the very techniques he unknowingly mastered while performing the tasks he once dismissed as unimportant works. He was stunned to realize that his martial arts training had actually begun from day one. Deeply moved, he finally shows respect and wholeheartedly accepts Swami as his mentor. Following that, Swami takes Ronnie under his wing, personally guiding him through every stage of training, from perfecting his stance to mastering the intricate details of his deadly signature move. He grows sharper with each passing day, mastering every brutal aspect of the regimen. Eventually, he dominates the arena and rises to become the most formidable fighter in the academy, impressing even Rogan, who can't stop acknowledging his unmatched strength. Deeply moved by Ronnie's remarkable progress, Swami embraces him with his treasured hug. One day, while Ronnie is spending time with Sia and some friends, she notices her father nearby. Shocked to learn that Kirana is her father, Ronnie discreetly guides Sia into a taxi before Kirana narrowly reaches them. While chatting casually, Kirana suggests they go for a drink, but suddenly spots Sia's ring on Ronnie's finger. Kirana's expression turns tense, and he warns Ronnie to forget the idea of being with Sia, but Ronnie bluntly refuses, declaring he won't leave her unless she backs down. Feeling uneasy, Kirana informs Rogan about Sia and Ronnie. Enraged, Rogan talks about killing Ronnie, but Swami overhears him and harshly reprimands him, reminding Rogan that using strength to separate two people in love goes against their ethics. When Rogan expresses his feelings for Sia, Swami firmly refuses to support him. During lunch, Rogan sincerely apologizes to Swami and he kindly forgives him. Not long after, Swami's health begins to deteriorate. Blinded by his obsession with Sia, Rogan poisons his father's food. The poison takes effect instantly, and Swami dies a brutally agonizing death within moments. Rogan then orders his goons to handle Ronnie with a free hand. Following this, Rogan's henchmen abduct Subu from the roadside, prompting Ronnie to rush after them, and he finds them provoking him by cruelly tossing Subu around like a basketball. During the scuffle, Subu gets injured, igniting a storm of rage in Ronnie, and he launches a brutal 360-degree kick, taking down two goons one after another, but the others flee with Subu. Despite searching everywhere, Ronnie can't find them and grows increasingly frustrated. Suddenly, the henchmen appear atop a building and threaten to throw Subu off. Ronnie hurls a stone and leaps just in time to catch Subu. As all the goons rush down, Ronnie brutally explodes at them and delivers bone-crushing kicks, shattering their arms and legs without mercy until he finally gets to the leader. Losing control, Ronnie is about to kill the leader when Subu rushes in and tearfully begs him to stop. As Ronnie tends to Subu's injuries, Rogan suddenly attacks him from behind and pounces like a wild wolf, unleashing brutal martial arts and deadly blows on him. He effortlessly overpowers Ronnie despite his fiercest attempts to fight back. However, Ronnie manages to break free and rush to a petrol pump. Ronnie drenches them all in petrol and asks the reason for all this. Rogan then reveals his love for Sia and warns Ronnie to step aside, but Ronnie clearly refuses to back down. Just as he's about to ignite, Jimmy urges Rogan to let him go for now. The scene shifts to Swami's funeral, where Rogan orders Jimmy to quickly devise a plan to eliminate Ronnie from his and Sia's path. As Ronnie mourns Swami's death, some police officers arrive and arrest him following a fake complaint filed by Kirana of teasing Sia. On the way, Ronnie spots Kirana with Rogan and pieces everything together. After making bail, he tells Sia that Kirana falsely accused him and took money from Rogan to marry her off. She refuses to believe him, and a heated argument follows. Ronnie says he's leaving the next morning and it's her choice to stand by him or her greedy father. He reluctantly walks away, leaving her behind in tears. Believing it's all a misunderstanding, Sia's mother advises her to stop Ronnie, but Kirana overhears them. To manipulate her, he injures himself and lies to Sia, claiming he met Ronnie but he attacked him and returned the ring disrespectfully. Though the ring is fake, Kirana fools her and succeeds in his plan. At the station, Ronnie eagerly waits for Sia with fading hope, but she doesn't arrive. Heartbroken, he leaves in tears and is also unable to take off the ring. The scene shifts back to the present as Ronnie arrives in Bangkok and books a taxi run by two Indians. The driver Harry is blind and his assistant Sunny guides him through the journey as he doesn't know how to drive. Harry and Sunny mention that they want to return to India, but their passports are held by loan sharks and they can't repay the debt. After regaining consciousness, Sia causes a scene in Rogan's house. Rogan tries to win her over by confessing his true feelings, but Sia remains certain that Ronnie will come to save her. Meanwhile, after risking his life on a perilous journey, Ronnie arrives at a fight club owned by Rogan and challenges the arena's most feared fighter. Despite the fighter's deadly reputation, Ronnie steps into the ring. To everyone's surprise, Ronnie knocks out the fighter with just a single lethal kick, leaving the arena in stunned silence. Harry creates a hilarious commotion over the victory, while the furious organizers, who have lost a huge amount betting on the fighter, take Ronnie's photo for revenge. The next morning, there's a knock on Ronnie's door. Realizing the danger, the three quickly flee as the Fight Club goons charge after them. A frantic chase breaks out as the goons pursue Ronnie and his friends. Using his calisthenics and combat skills, Ronnie knocks out several along the way and lures the rest into an abandoned market, where he takes them down one by one with remarkable strength. Ronnie manages to escape again, and while eliminating some more goons effortlessly during the chase, he reaches a bustling market. He fights off more goons using impressive stunts and acrobatic moves, knocking them out as he moves through the chaos. Meanwhile, blind Harry and Sunny manage to escape with a mix of luck and clumsy effort. Their getaway is filled with funny struggles, especially with Harry's blindness making things harder. Ronnie later tricks another group of goons and shocks them with a burst of electricity, but some goons and Thier leader Kim catch Sunny and Harry before they can get away. Just as Kim is about to shoot Harry, Ronnie appears from behind and takes down his guards. He smartly takes the gun and demands Rogan's address. Meanwhile, Rogan brings a diamond necklace for Sia, but she suddenly wakes up and attacks him. She tries to escape by fighting off his henchmen, but in the chaos, she's accidentally injured and falls unconscious. Panicking, Rogan urgently orders to call an ambulance. Here, Ronnie brutally beats up Jimmy and holds his wife at gunpoint, demanding to know Rogan and Sia's whereabouts. Paralyzed by Rogan's fear, Jimmy refuses to betray but reveals that Sia is being held on the 8th floor of his building. He warns Ronnie that every floor up to the 6th is guarded by deadly fighters and ruthless serial killers, and if he somehow makes it past them, he'll have to face Kim's brother Yong on the 7th floor, a lethal killing machine said to be impossible to defeat. Just then, Jimmy receives a call from Rogan, informing him that he's urgently taking Sia to the hospital. Ronnie asks about the hospital, but when Jimmy can't tell, Ronnie shoots her without a second thought. Afterward, Ronnie arrives at the hospital with his friends. Disguised as a doctor, he quietly sneaks in and follows the nurse to Sia's ward. Meanwhile, Harry and Sunny wait outside and lock Kim in the trunk. When Jimmy doesn't answer, Yong calls his brother, who informs him that Ronnie has entered the hospital. Rogan and his men immediately set out to hunt him down. In the ward, Sia stands in relief as she sees Ronnie. She knocks the nurse unconscious, and the two quickly change their appearance to escape. Just as they reach the exit, they cross paths with Rogan, but unfortunately he recognizes and stops them. Thinking fast, Ronnie puts a scalpel to Sia's neck and warns Rogan to back down. Panicked, just as Rogan and his henchmen put their weapons down, Ronnie escapes with Sia through the elevator, prompting Rogan to jump through the window holding a fire extinguisher. As they exit the elevator, Ronnie and Sia rush into the taxi. Rogan holds the fire to avoid hitting Sia, but some henchmen continue to fire. Ronnie opens the trunk and a henchman's bullet accidentally hits Kim, giving them the perfect chance to escape. Devastated by his brother's death, Yong is consumed with a burning desire for revenge against Ronnie. At night, Harry explains to Ronnie the safest route to the airport. Ronnie and Sia gratefully thank him and Sunny for helping them selflessly. Before leaving, Sia gives Harry her diamond locket so he can clear all his debts. While leaving, they avoid speaking or even looking at each other, still carrying the bitterness of their unresolved misunderstanding. By morning, they reach an island and check into a resort. Though hesitant, they slowly start talking again. Still wounded by the past, they blame each other for the betrayal they believed. Suddenly, a serene rain begins to fall, and Ronnie helps Sia when she notices the ring and realizes he never returned it. This leads them to finally talk things through and share their sides of the story that happened. Once all the misunderstandings are cleared, they both feel deep regret, but eventually, they reconcile with sharing a tender kiss. After an intense struggle, Rogan and his men finally track them down later that day and unleash a brutal assault on Ronnie, hitting savage blows that leave him in a dire condition to get up again. Rogan mocks Ronnie and provokes him by hurting Sia, but instead of finishing him off, he gives the chance to Jimmy and Yong to seek their personal revenge. The two brutally turn on injured Ronnie together. Jimmy steps in and shoots him into the ocean in memory of his wife. Once Ronnie finishes off, Rogan drags Sia back to his building. Rogan mocks Sia over Ronnie's death, claiming no one in the world can save her now, but Sia still believes he's alive and will come for her. And in that moment, Ronnie is seen
outside Rogan's building. Ronnie storms into the building with fearless intensity, taking out the ground-level guards using his deadly kick attacks. and makes his way to the 3rd floor where he takes on a gang of ruthless street fighters, dismantling them one by one with brutal precision, shattering some's bones, dislocating some joints, and caving in faces without mercy, each strike a brutal reminder of his unstoppable rage. As Ronnie fights his way toward the 4th floor, but one of them manages to ring the alert bell. Seeing Ronnie alive, Rogan realizes Jimmy betrayed him. Jimmy revealed that Ronnie spared his wife, and he is right. Rogan gets furious and instantly kills Jimmy. Rogan quickly alerts all his fighters about Ronnie's arrival. On the way, Ronnie finds himself surrounded by 6 deadly fighters on the 5th floor. Ronnie charges in without a trace of fear, unleashing a storm of brutal punches and flawless martial arts strikes. In just 30 seconds, he wipes them out, which leaves Rogan disappointed. On the 6th floor, Rogan's ruthless African fighter lies in wait. The moment Ronnie steps in, he's ambushed with a barrage of brutal cleaver strikes. Thinking fast, Ronnie uses his shirt to disarm him, but the fighter proves vicious and relentless, giving Ronnie a tough challenge. What he doesn't realize, though, is that he's up against Ronnie, who unleashes a furious wave of bone-crushing punches and deadly kicks, eventually hurling the fighter off the floor to his death. This infuriates Rogan, and to make matters worse, he discovers that Sia has escaped. Fed up, he orders Young to kill Sia and Ronnie both. While escaping, Sia runs into a group of Rogan's goons, but to their shock, she turns out to be far deadlier than they imagined. With unstoppable strikes, she takes them down with ease. Meanwhile, Ronnie charges ahead with unshaken confidence, but Yang suddenly lands him floor with a vicious super kick. Yang is too sharp and proves deadlier than anyone imagined. Fueled by vengeance for Kim's death, he strikes like a relentless killing machine. Unable to take it anymore, Ronnie snaps into his ruthless form. He ruthlessly breaks both Yang's leg and arm before finishing him off with a savage backbreaker. After an exhausting battle, Ronnie and Sia finally reunite. After that, both of them head to Rogan, who's waiting coolly for them. Confident in his strength, he launches a fierce attack on both Ronnie and Sia. An intense clash erupts between Ronnie and Rogan. Rogan proves to be far stronger. Despite this, Ronnie refuses to back down. Driven by his ego, Rogan reloads himself and charges again at Ronnie with even more intensity, unleashing merciless blows that leave him in a terrible state and end the fight, landing a devastating flying kick. Rogan mocks Ronnie's strength and reveals he even killed his father for Sia. Enraged by his master's merciless death, Ronnie charges himself for revenge and adopts Swami's fighting style. Ronnie attacks with a mix of his calisthenics and Swami's brutal style. Overpowering Rogan, Ronnie unleashes Swami's deadly signature moves, snapping his ribs, crushing his back, and the devastating chest breaker. At last, Ronnie finishes Rogan with a brutal, brain-shattering finisher. With Sia by his side and Swami's revenge fulfilled, Ronnie takes a moment to remember his beloved master. He returns to the academy and carries forward Swami's legacy by taking full responsibility. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Additionally, if you love Indian movies, you're in the right place as we bring the best explanations for global audiences. Before you go, drop your favorite Indian movie in the comments for us to explain next, and also check out more of our content.
Dan Allah karka ce na koma gidanka. Wallahi ba zan iya ba, na haƙura duk abin da nake samu a wajen anti Shukura na haƙura.
Zainabu ba za ki koma ba tunda ba kya so.
Gaskiya tunda ba ta so sai a haƙura. Zainabu, an samu aikin kuwa?
Wallahi ina ba a samu ba. Can na wuni muna kan layi. Daga ƙarshe ma suka fito suka ce mana wai sai dai mu dawo gobe. Mu ko abinci ba mu ci ba, a ƙafa muka je, a ƙafa muka dawo.
Zainabu, da Allah karki ƙara koma wannan kamfanin. Inna magajiya, abinda nake so da ku nemi sana'ar da ba zai gagara ba, kowane iri ne. In ma na siyowa ne, in ma na kawowa ne kuke son a kawo muku, ku yi min bayani. Insha Allah zan ga yadda zan nema muku abin da za ku riga siya da sayarwa a cikin gidan nan, ba sai ta tafi yawon neman aikin kamfanin nan.
A'a Alhaji, kan mu ɗora maka nauyi.
A'a, inna, ai ba roƙana kuka yi ba. Ni fa dama abin da ya kawo ni kenan yau ba. Zuwa ne in ce muku ku nemi sana'a. Kowace iri ne wadda za ku iya yi, wadda a gida za a zauna dai a ce an ɗan samu abin da ba za a rasa ba. Ni zan ɗauki nauyin in ba ku kuɗi, in ma wani abin kuke son a siyo a kawo muku, zan siyo in kawo muku, saboda dai a ci gaba ku samu abin da za ku riga yi. Yarinyar nan ba sai ta je yawuce neman aikin kamfani.
To, mun gode Alhaji. Allah saka da alkhairi.